Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. This is the election season, and hopefully you've noticed this is the second program that we've had. We have 3 or 4 offices up for re-election this year, but we only have competition for the board of mayor and alderman. So those are the ones that we're speaking to. And last week we had Jerry Mathis and Stephen Landers on. Today we have 2 lovely young ladies that are also running for the board of mayor and alderman. Those are Robin Hines.
Dunn.
Dunn, I'm sorry, yes.
It's all right.
I've been through that 2 or 3 times. Robin Dunn.
Yes, sir.
And Paige Lashley. And so we want to get acquainted with them today and give you a chance to see what they're about. Remind you that the election is August the 3rd. If you are not registered, and you still have a chance until July the 5th, and early voting will run from July the 14th to the 29th. So please pay attention. We need you to get out there and vote. With that, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll come back and find out about the candidates.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Tired of paying for monthly telephone service, expensive long-distance bills, and all those crazy taxes? Are you sick of spending money on telephone equipment, maintenance contracts, and service calls, all for a phone system that shackles you to 100-year-old technology and your desk? Stop it. It's time to ship your phone system to the cloud. What can the cloud do for you? Bring together remote offices, workers, and employees in the field. Make sure that you'll never miss calls by delivering them to multiple devices. Modernize faxing by allowing multiple faxes to be sent and received at once and delivered to email. Get your voicemail messages instantly through email too. And take advantage of an endless supply of customizable features. Host My Calls can deliver the cloud. All of this technology with low upfront costs and not 1 penny in capital expense. It's time for a phone solution you'll truly love from Host My Calls. Call the number below.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with 2 of our candidates for the board of mayor and alderman in Tullahoma. They are Robin Dunn, who is on my immediate left, and Paige Lashley. And we want to find out what they're up to and how come they're running and things like that. So first question is just that. Why did you decide to run, and what is it? Give us your background and qualifications and why you think it ought to be you, basically. Robin, let's start with you.
Sure. Well, I'm from Tullahoma. My family moved here whenever I was 7. My dad was in the Air Force. And so my first teacher here was Cindy King. And in the year 2000, I graduated, ran off to Knoxville, and found my husband. And in 2010, we found a house around the corner from my mom and dad. And so we bought that up, and we've been raising our 3 kids here since then. So it's been an honor.
Well, at UT, hopefully you found something besides your husband.
Well, yeah, Knoxville's an
There
awesome
was an
place.
education over there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yes. I got 3 degrees over there, so definitely I spent a lot of time walking up and down the hill at UT. So, yeah, I've got my family here, and since 2010, I've been involved in the school system. So it's been really exciting to have former teachers become colleagues, and it's been a big honor for me to be able to do that. So I'm running for alderman. You know, anybody who knows an educator knows that we do research, and we question. So I think that what I'm going to bring to the table is reflection. I'm going to be, we've got 18,000 people here, and our budget, we're spending $22 million this year. That's more than $1 million a person. So I want to make sure that that money is spent well, that we're good stewards of our funding. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is just making sure that we're just questioning what's going on there. So that's the main reason why I'm running.
Okay. Well, you must have some ideas, and we'll find out about those in a little bit. Paige, same question. Why are you running? Give us the background, qualifications, and things like that.
In short, I'm running because I'm in a position in my life to be able to give back to this community that has given me so much. I'm a fourth-generation Tullahoman. My family has been business owners in this community since 1929, and Tullahoma's been very good to us. And luckily, I wound up right back where I started, which I think is a blessing, to be able to be back in Tullahoma and raise my children where I was raised. And it really does take a village to raise children. And I had some time as a single mother after being widowed. And I had a lot of input and a lot of help from people in the community who had known me my entire life, known my parents and known my grandparents. And Tullahoma means a lot to me. I'm very proud to be from this community. It's very embedded into who I am. And I want to do my part as a public service to give back to the community. We are very, very lucky to live in a place where we can raise our families, be safe, make a living, and educate our children in an exemplary education program. And this is a fine place to grow up, a fine place to live, and I want to do everything I can to ensure that it stays that way and help Tullahoma continue to be a place that keeps taxes low and keeps new businesses coming in and keeps courting in young families to come here and raise their children, so that we can keep our town vital and growing and be everything that we're capable of being. And I feel like I'm the right person for the job. I'm very excited.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, let's move along then into find out a little bit more about what you'd like to see improved or changed or eliminated, or what is it you're hoping to see happen during your tenure? And Robin, let's come back to you.
Sure. Well, I think the one thing that a lot of people have said, and doing this campaign, the first thing that I've really enjoyed, and I'm sure Paige can agree, is I've met a lot of really awesome people. The community is just great here. But the thing that I've heard more time and time again is people are concerned about our economy, and we've lost several industries here. We've lost Worth, we've lost Wilson, we've lost Rock 10, and when these places left, it created a vacuum in our middle class group, and those folks have done one of two things. They've either gone to other work in surrounding areas, they've gone to Nissan, they've gone to Murfreesboro, or they've stayed here and taken positions that were not as without the benefits that they had before. So I've heard more than once, we need industry, we need a place that's going to bring in pensions and benefits so that we can kind of rebuild that. And I agree that would be amazing. My concern is that we're not on the interstate. And so I think bringing in manufacturers is going to be a very difficult thing to do. That's very highly competitive. However, I think what we could do instead, is we have small businesses here. And I think it's important to grow our industry organically. I would love to see our small business leaders, our entrepreneurs feel supported and create that industry that we're looking for. So how's that going to happen? Fran and Dan Markham several years ago received a multi-million-dollar federal loan, and it was kind of this thing where you sort of pay it forward. So it's really kind of exciting in that the city of Tullahoma is receiving funding still through this program. It's called the Urban Development Action Grant, and now a lot of that money is earmarked for commercial use, and some of it is earmarked for small business. I'd like to see some of that change a little bit so that we are continuing to develop our small businesses and allow our small businesses to know what resources we have So, and that's going to be a big thing, is just communication. So that's my main goal, is industry, or the economy. The other concern that I have that's over the last 6 years, and probably part of this is my own personal perception, but I've noticed an increase in the number of children who have come through my classroom who are in foster care. And right now, it's estimated in Coffee County that there are somewhere around 100 children who are in the foster care system. And I have to use the word estimate because they're bounced around. You know, we've got kids coming from Ohio, they're coming from Kentucky, they're from neighboring counties, neighboring communities, and then they're bounced right back out again. And it's a very, very difficult way to live. It is difficult. I had a student this past year who, Thursday, 3:15, the kid goes home. I received a phone call from a mother who has taken in several children, and she said, "Hey, I've got her here with me tonight, so there's something came up. If you notice any changes in her behavior tomorrow, that might be why." So this is a need. This is something that is widespread. This child at 3:15 thought everything was hunky-dory and went home and was bounced to yet another location that night. And there are children who, the emergency type situations, they don't even get to go home that night. They are taken directly from school to a new location. And where I said that there's 100 children who are here, there are not that many beds. There are not that many beds, and so it's a difficult thing to overcome. Lots of families are split up for several reasons.
There are not enough foster homes
Correct.
to take care of the foster kids.
Correct. And not everybody can open their doors. That's not an easy thing to do,
No,
but there are
sure.
other ways to give back. And for one thing, like that child, she needed an overnight bag. She needed clean sheets. She needed toothbrushes. She needed pajamas that night. This is an incredibly benevolent community. Last year, $100,000 was given to our animal shelter. That's fantastic. $100,000 was donated. Do you know how much was donated to youth services?
To youth services?
Yes, sir.
Zip.
$50.
$50.
We had a $100,000 donated to our animals, a very deserving people, right? But I think this is all about awareness. We need people to know what our needs are. We have a very vulnerable population there, and I don't think that people, $50, it's because people just don't know. So that's my hope, is to raise an awareness about it.
Okay. Well, I'll be interested in your economic development ideas, and
Sure.
we'll come back to that in a bit. And so meanwhile, let's, Paige, I'm probably going to have to interrupt you fairly soon, but you want to begin? What would you like to see, well, first of all, improved maybe?
Well, in the lines of improvement, I think we have come so far. Lane Curley has been an exemplary mayor, and we've seen a lot of positive changes to our community under the 16 years of his leadership, and I think he's had a tremendous vision for this community. If you just look around, we have had so many nationwide franchises come into our community, which has really helped us become kind of a mecca point for the smaller surrounding communities to come shop here and keep money in our community. I think that's very important. We have plans to redo the mall. We have plans for a major grocery store chain to come into Tullahoma, and I know that
been rumoring about that.
There's
for
a lot
2
of
or 3
rumbling
years.
about it, isn't there? But
Yeah.
As a small business owner myself, I take a lot of joy in seeing those businesses come in. I am quite fond of the small business owner, as that's my history and my family's history in Tullahoma. But we have a lot of great businesses coming into town, which shows that we're a thriving, growing community.
Yeah, the retail has really done quite well. Let's take a short commercial break, Paige, and we'll come back to you.
Keith Barnett here with the Russell Barnett Automotive family. Over 75% of car shoppers today use the internet to search for their new or pre-owned vehicle. That's why the RussellBarnett.com website is so versatile, where you can check it anytime, all the time, online. You can search through our new and pre-owned inventory by make, model, mileage, or price. We can value your trade-in and get you pre-approved for financing before you even walk in the door. So check out russellbarnett.com, and remember, why buy anywhere else?
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
We're talking today, folks, with two of our candidates for the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Alderman. They are Robin Dunn and Paige Lashley. And just before the break, we were hearing from Paige on the things that she likes about Tullahoma and the things that she'd like to see improved and so forth. So, Paige, you want to carry on?
Well, and speaking of small businesses and business development here, I would really like to see our taxes remain low. We have not had an increase in property taxes in several years, and I know that's made a great deal of our community very happy. I personally, like Robin, and concerned about our population that is at risk here in Tullahoma, but part of my platform is educating the community on wonderful places that we have here in town and nonprofits that we have that support our at-risk community. There is a great deal of need for education to the public so that they would know where they can contribute and what they can do to help this at-risk population. We do have a great influx of foster children. We have women at risk, but we have wonderful, wonderful programs here in our community. The Blue Monarch, which I served on the board, CASA Works, which I do a great deal of volunteering work for, Haven of Hope. These programs need our support, and I think firstly the public needs to be educated and aware that they exist. So as my time as a Rotarian, I try to bring those programs to my Rotary Club so that we can educate people about them and support them. I am very involved in the community, and nonprofits are part of my passion. I have a strong love for the arts here, and I feel very blessed to live in a community that thinks so highly of the arts in our community. We have the Community Playhouse in South Jackson and our Fine Arts Center. I serve on the Mayor's Council for the Arts, and I think that's a wonderful way to contribute your time and also another way to bring the community in for volunteerism in our community. We have a fine town here, and really and truly, I don't know that there's so much that needs to be changed as there is so much that needs to be made aware and supported. And I would really like to be a voice of the community and a face of the community and be able to share my enthusiasm for where I live to the people who live here also.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's come back to a point that's kind of been touched on by both of you, especially Robin, and that is, do you want to see Tullahoma grow? That's a yes or no?
Well, that to me is an easy question. I mean, you only have two ways to go. If you are a living organism, you either continue to grow or you recess and die. You know, there are several communities around here that we can look to and say, either that's our future or this is our future. So what are we hoping to do? And as Paige said, we're hoping to continue to attract people who want to raise their children here. And you know, one of the great things that we have that's unparalleled, we've got the fiber optics. We have a hotbed ready to go right now for an economy in communications. I just see that Tullahoma could easily be the Eastern Silicon Valley if we are able to support it, if we are able to encourage people to build and bring their small businesses in.
Several ifs in there.
Absolutely.
Tullahoma has really fundamentally not grown much in the last several years. So we must not be doing something
but
right.
we're maintaining our population.
Right.
We're maintaining our
maintaining
population,
it, yes.
which I think is
But
important
it is
too.
changing. The demographics are
The
changing.
demographic is changing, and I think that's one thing that's a definite positive. One thing that I've taken a lot of joy in being back home is that I have met a lot of people who are not from here. There are quite a few of us who are from here, who are raised here, who move away and then come home. And it's almost like a boomerang population of people who come back to Tullahoma, because once you sow your wild oats and you get your education and you're out in the world, you realize what a treasure this place is. So we do have a boomerang population that comes back home to raise their own children here or to get involved in multi-generational family businesses. We have several of those in our community, and I think that's something to be very, very proud of. We do have a younger population here. And I think it's our responsibility to get the younger people in town involved in our community. There seems to be a little bit of a void of service between the 30 to 40-year-old ranking of the population. I know I see that. I'm an ambassador with the Chamber of Commerce, and we do have a very high population of young people and young professionals in the Chamber of Commerce, which I think is really important. But I would like to see more people come home. I would like to see us continue to have jobs here available for people to return home to, and I would like for us to attract more people. Well, I think with the advent of our new retail, we have a lot of new jobs coming in that way. You know, like Robin said, we have lost our larger manufacturing jobs, and I think that may have to do with our location, but we're not going to be able to put ourselves closer to the interstate. But we do have a mayor who has a strong belief in the commerce of this community, and we do have a very active Chamber of Commerce that are constantly wooing businesses to try to come here.
Well, manufacturing, of course, that's the primary job of the County Industrial Development Board, and we have agreed to not compete on factory-type work. But the service industry is now larger and growing faster than the manufacturing section, so that's where it would indicate that's where our concentration should be. But what does that mean? And the fiber optics has been here already for how long? 2-3 years, and I'm not sure how much we've done with it. But okay. Anything more specific you want to add on the economic development front? Quickly.
We just need to continue to support our small businesses is my take on it. So, and that I think will in turn
support the ones we have.
Correct, yeah. And encourage more to come in. Paige pointed out we've got the age group of 30 to 40. We really need to encourage that age group to continue to give back and to come back to return to this community. And for me personally, you mentioned that this is the only race that is unopposed. I think that says two things. One, the leadership we have right now is excellent. I think that's a real boost and a precedent of all that they've already done. But two, what concerns me is that we don't have the level of involvement that we need to have to continue to have a thriving community. Yeah, people need to step up. People need to step forward and feel invited to be a part of their political processes.
And the first step forward next should be to get out there and vote this time.
That's absolutely right.
Paige, you got anything else you'd like to add to that subject?
Well, I think touching a little bit on what Robin said, I think one of the importance of you have to teach people to give back. I don't think that's something that you're born with. I think that you have to teach people how to volunteer. You have to place a desire to have a servant's heart in people. And I think one thing we can do, this sounds really trite, but we can educate the public on exactly what the city council does. I can't tell you how many people have asked me, what is an alderman? What does an alderman do? And I think that once you do that and you have a face in the community and you let people know what you do and you let people know how much it means to you, then I think there will be a growing interest in other people wanting to come forward and do their part to help the city. We have so many opportunities for people who have all types of varied interest to be involved in this community. And I think we just need to market it so that it's attractive to people to get involved.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, folks, we've about run out of time, as we frequently do. So let's take a short commercial break, and we'll have to come back and wind up.
Buying a vehicle can be hard. It's even harder if you have poor credit health. But let the team here with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia help you. With our guaranteed credit approval process, we can help you find your next vehicle. But don't just take that from me. Here's a few of our customers and what they had to say.
They said they could approve us, and then the next thing was how much monthly. I thought it was going to be way too much. And sure enough, he did it what we asked for, what we needed it to be. He did it within. He will help you out.
Schedule your appointment with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia so you can drive away happy.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We're back, folks, and we've been talking today with the two candidates for the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Alderman, Robin Dunn and Paige Lashley. And these ladies have given us the benefit of their background and their ideas for where Tullahoma needs to go. So again, I want to remind you there's an election coming up August the 3rd, and we have several offices in town that are up for re-election. But unfortunately, we don't have competition except for the Board of Mayor and Alderman. And but it is important that you get out and make yourself known. We've got 11,000 voters in Tullahoma, and it'd be nice if we could get something well over 50% this year. If you haven't registered, you have until July the 5th to do that. Early voting will begin on July the 14th and run through the 29th. And again, the election is August the 3rd. I want to thank these two ladies. Robin has, her background is in teaching and education and math, and Paige, who is a fourth generation Tullahoman and a businesswoman in her own right. So thank you, ladies, for joining us and sharing your views. It's been very interesting, and you're both very up and at 'em. So I want to express our thanks to you for coming, and folks, again, remind you, please get out there and vote this year. August the 3rd coming up. Early voting, you've got 2 weeks. You can go down to CD Stamps and make yourself known. So with that, I want to thank you for inviting us into your parlor, and we will see you next time.